Alright, I'm back. Not sure how well that's going to show up on here. One of the things I do, although I do carry a map with me, generally the area I'm going to be in, I've been in situations where, let's see if this will even show up, where the area I'm leaving, whether it was the road closure, whether it was an avalanche that happened last year, and we end up traveling outside of the area where my map was, I can keep an area, several areas on my map, on my phone, of the maps that I want to be going in. And this will zoom in, this will take PDF files. Don't know how well that'll show up, but I'm able to scroll through and zoom in all the way down to pretty good lower elevations. Shows all the trails I need to do. And essentially there are programs you can buy that uses PDAs for all that purpose, but because this thing just does pictures, I can just put JPEGs or PDF files, transfer all that information onto my phone, and whether the battery's dead or not, have some AA batteries, charge this guy up, and I'll be in good shape. Like I said, there's just been a lot of times it's a whole lot easier to carry, the entire western state on this thing than it is to carrying all the maps. And I always do have a map of the area I'm going in, but 3 times last year I ended up going beyond or taking a different route of the map that I didn't have with me, to whether it was a whim or whatnot. It doesn't sacrifice for a good compass. You're not going to see really GPS in here. The only GPS I've ever carried is an older one. The only purpose it's ever served was so that I could find spots and pass on the points to friends of mine. I did a thing down in Oregon where I did all the cave entrances to a lot of these caves that aren't marked anymore. They're not put in books anymore, and I know where they are from finding them. And so I basically located those points, gave them the GPS, and then they were able to search for them. A little SAS survival manual in kind of a stiff plastic Ziploc, and this is just good reading, good information, and the size, as there's no reason not to carry it. This we've done in other videos. It's pretty similar. It does have the little whistle compass guy sitting on it. We've talked about the bivy sack. This is supposedly the emergency version. They do have a bigger version that you can use over and over. I like this one. And one of the things that makes using this little guy a whole lot easier to use is this: if you have a liner, and liners are great for bringing your sleeping bag down a couple 10 degrees, 15 degrees is what they say. But it's and this Thermalite from Sea to Summit is also one of the smallest and the most stretchy. It has held up for years that I've had it. It's pretty warm, but what it does, especially if you're going to be using this, like I'll use this in the summer because it's ultralight sleeping bag. Problem is, when in the summertime and you're wearing shorts or any skin contact, you'll start sweating a little bit, and this will stick, and it's just kind of annoying. And so what I'll do is, even if I'll just use this as a sleeping bag itself, if it's not that cold, or if you use this in conjunction, that is basically a liner, so you don't stick to use that. And it's a great tip to use those. Bag balm in the baby little size, that's key. Dog, if you get out of my way. These little guys are great for the winter. These last up to 8 hours. I've got some bigger ones that are like the size of both of those that I think they last up to 10, but they're called like body warmers. There's one each there, and then the ones for the toes for your boots are a 5 hour, but there's one pair in each pack, so there's 2 right there. This is in my pack usually always. It's just a weatherproof journal and the pen that matches, that writes on there. One of the things for exposure is these goggles. These are the military ones. These are the cheaper ones that don't have the ballistic lens. The other ones are like $40. I think these were like 12. I'm not using them for ballistic purposes. For shooting, I'm using them for protection. I also go off-roading quite a bit, and they work out well for dust, wind, and sun goggles. And the screen trades out. This is a tinted lens for it, especially in the winter. That cold whipping in there can just dry your eyes out, and it's just so much more comforting to have those, especially in a windy sort of area, whether it's volcanic, all the volcanic dust in the air, you'll be able to see. That kind of goes into the next guy here. I do have a couple little respirator guys. These are the typical ones at N95 you'll see. They're great. They fold down really well. They work really well. if you practice with them and whatnot. They just, however, don't work well with the goggles. And I should have saved the box on this. I ran into these. It's a little bit thicker material, but what it'll do is underneath your nose, it actually kind of just cups underneath where your nostrils are, and you still breathe in through here, but you're able to use the goggles. And it's a real nice combination. I got these at Fred Meyer's, where the Band-Aids are. Kind of look in the upper or lower shelf where your Band-Aids are, and you'll probably find a similar product. Nothing wrong with these. They just don't seem to work. What they'll do is you can't get a good seal around your nose, so either your filter isn't going to work or you're going to fog up your goggles. So I don't use those. Going into winter, I'm trading out the Lexan Nalgene bottles for some metal bottles. And because it's just a little pouch, this is the GSI, is what they call the little stubby. And even if the water freezes in there, I can put this next to a fire, put it in my stove, and I can melt those. And I do have this guy here, which is made from Wiggy's. Got this from Fowl, hope that's how you say that, or Foal. He suggested those. I hadn't even heard of that company. What a great company if you guys need good, strong gear. Up in Alaska, I believe the factory's out of Colorado, but they do a lot of outing gear that survives forever. I honestly haven't used this because it's just so pretty. I hate to get it dirty, and I honestly have so much gear I haven't needed it. But the cup nests in there nicely. This is just a little bit too big for the kit to keep in the truck, so we're just going to go with this little guy. Moving on, multi-tool. This is the bigger Surge. Don't keep it on me. Max, enough.